got some extra time. I got some extra dishes. So just wanted to check in, say hello, see how everybody's doing. Got a couple things to announce. I'm going to be live in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm going to be live in Cincinnati. It's technically Dayton, Kentucky, but that's kind of near Cincinnati. I'm sorry for saying Lexington, Kentucky, by the way. But you can see how I maybe got a little bit confused by the fact that Dayton, Kentucky is in Cincinnati, but not anywhere near Dayton, Ohio. So, anyway, listen, I'm not here to split hairs. I'm not here to say who made what map wrong. I'm here to say I'm also in Kansas City, and the Springfield, Missouri tickets are not out yet, but they will be soon. So, just want to make you all aware that all those shows, they're going down, they're happening. Okay. Also, I just had some off time today, so I wanted to see if anyone had anything to add to the chat. I wanted to say hello on this beautiful, beautiful day, and it's this is the last day in kind of a long run of shows that I've had. So I think I'm going to take a couple of days, tomorrow and the next day, just to kind of chill out a little bit. You know what I mean? Just to kind of feel the wind on my mustache. That's the old expression. That's such an upsetting expression that I just made. That's a really unsettling thing that I just said, huh? But it's nice. A day full of just chores is really interesting because it feels like you did a lot and then also nothing at all, which is the kind of day that I've been having lately. It feels like, oh man, I got a whole lot done, and my life, other than being a little bit cleaner, is essentially no different in any way. It's an interesting feeling, isn't it? Oh, this is an interesting comment. Let me see if I can show this. Yes, I can. It says you've shared some. Well, I would not call it abuse. I certainly here's my perspective when it comes to comments. Unless those comments veer into, the big thing. If a comment is violent in nature, if a comment is threatening in nature, obviously those are they're a little bit different, a little bit on the spicier end of the Scoville scale of comments. You know what I mean? But if a comment is just something negative, that's what the internet is for. The internet is and I don't think this is a great thing, but it is just the nature of the beast. The internet is kind of a negative place, right? And because of that, a lot of the comments that you receive are going to be negative. Now, here's the thing. I don't need to post videos. I do it for fun. It's a fun, frivolous pursuit that I take part in. And to be honest with you, I think it's a very small price to pay to be able to do comedy and make videos and have fun. So I don't take it too personally. Those posts are not to own the person who commented the negative thing. I truly mean that. I just think sometimes I'll say something funny. I'll be like, oh, other people might think this is funny, and I'll post it. I always try to obscure the name and stuff when that does happen. I'm not trying to make anyone. If anything, if a post upsets you that I make, which I don't think that I make very upsetting posts, but if it does, you have every right in the world to unfollow me and to travel to greener pastures. That is the beautiful right you have as a citizen of being online. The global hegemony has taken almost everything from you. Business ventures have essentially sucked you dry as a worker to the point where you have almost no leverage at all. But the one thing you can do, the one power you have as a human being in this world, is that you can unfollow people whenever you want. I hope you don't. I hope you do follow me. I hope you stay with me while I post stuff. But if you don't want to, boy, I would hate for you to stick around. Truly. I would hate for you to stick around. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Oh, we got a question here. Why are you always doing dishes? You know, this is a question I get constantly. Well, because the internet is a dumb place that makes no sense, and so I do a dumb thing that doesn't make sense. I hope that makes sense. Some people post whenever they get an idea. Some people post, whenever they're doing a prank on someone else. I just post whenever I'm doing the dishes. That's just kind of the groove I found myself in on beautiful, beautiful online town. And it's nice. It feels good, It feels good to get the dishes done. Because the thing is, it can be kind of hard when you post a video that people don't like or that people call you stupid for. It doesn't feel awesome, But no matter how bad the videos I make are, no matter how how negative people are about them, no matter how unfunny the jokes are, at the end of the day, I always get my dishes done, and that's a nice little bonus. You know what I mean? A lot of the times when people make videos, they have to do a lot of setup in their apartment, and so they have to. At the end of the video, they're like, "Oh man, my apartment's like all messy now." But now it's the exact opposite. You know what I mean? I'm somewhat productive. Ooh, this is a great one. Oh no, that's the same. Here we go. Now this is the question. Do you want to be reincarnated if given the opportunity? Absolutely. I would like to be reincarnated as one of those what's the animal that kind of looks like a really big mouse? A capybara. I'd like to be that. Just hanging out near the water with my friends. Or maybe like a really annoying animal. I'd like to be reincarnated as like an animal that just gets full. They're like put on the earth to annoy, like a mosquito. That would be cool. Because mosquitoes are absolutely just the reincarnated version of people who are really hard to get along with in life. Like if you wish ill on someone in your life because they're annoying and they pass away, they come back as a mosquito. 100%. Because people always ask like, oh, what's the point of having mosquitoes? Like, why does nature, in all of its majesty and beauty, allow these like small kind of pesting animals to exist? And I say it's because there needs to be something for annoying people to be reincarnated as. And I think it's the mosquito, the noble mosquito. But that's a great question, yeah. And then after that, maybe like a really, really rich guy. That would be cool. That would be awesome. I'm just going through the comments here. It's really fun. This is a great comment, and it brings up a thought. Because I think about the food chain from time to time. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about the food chain pretty often, to be honest with you. Because whenever I feel bad, whenever I feel down, whenever I feel like upset, I always think, man, it is so cool to be at the top of the food chain. If a human being gets like murked by an animal, it's an event. The news covers it. And we're just putting in so much, which I don't think is great, but being at the top of the food chain. You can be the saddest guy in the world. You could have just gotten fired. You could have just gotten broken up with. You don't feel good about yourself. Your health is bad, and you are still technically, among all species, the top of the food chain. How does that make you feel? I want you to feel that rush of confidence that just gave you. I want you to feel that rush of power that just gave you. You are still, despite all of that, more powerful than any shrew or vole in the world. There is not a single shrew or vole that has more implicit or explicit power than you in consideration of the food chain. Now, maybe in other things they have more power than you. There might be a really famous shrew. There might be a very notable vole. But also probably not even that. You probably have more money than most animals. Not all. There's animals, like there's a, Seabiscuit, I think technically had a lot of money. Or at least the estate of Seabiscuit. I don't know if Seabiscuit was using that money. I'm sure Michael Jackson's pet, I actually forget what kind of animal it was. But I know Michael Jackson had some kind of a very exotic pet, and I know that animal probably had more money than you. But that's aside from the point. The point I'm making, and by the way, if you're confused, I am making a point here, okay? Is you should never feel all the way down, because you're up there on the food chain, I'll tell you that much. The food chain might be my Roman Empire. The Roman Empire conversation, because I'll be honest with you, I don't think about the Roman Empire very often, but I do think about the food chain pretty often. Okay? I think about the food chain and then. Okay, this is a great comment, and this is also proving my point. This guy said, except for the dude in Alaska in that bus. This is what I'm saying. Okay, humans are at the top of the food chain. That doesn't mean we always come out on top when it comes to our food interactions with animals. When an animal and a person are, one of them's making the other one food, I'm not saying it doesn't go the other way, but when it does, it is so unusual. It is so notable that we write books about it. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying there? We're way on top because that's the case. It is through the roof how on top we are in that regard. It's not that there's not exceptions, but I think that's what that phrase, the phrase, the exception that proves the rule. I never knew what that meant. And I also don't really think a lot of the people that use it know what it means, but I think it might mean that. But I'm not sure. Those are kind of more highfalutin issues that I need to. I pass those off to other people. You know what I mean? I pass those off to other people. Okay, this is an interesting one. I like this comment. You've got Labrador / Golden Retriever vibes, barking and playing a lot. Just being chill in a comfy chair. I don't know where you're getting that from. I really hope that that Golden Retrievers don't have as much negative thought as I have. Because maybe they do, because they can't talk. You know what I mean? Maybe that Golden Retriever is sitting in that chair going, I hope my friends like me. Could you imagine? I hope that's not what they're thinking. What if we like find a way to read animals' thoughts and we look at Golden Retrievers' thoughts and they're just constantly like, they're the most anxious animal in the world. We're like, oh man, we really got Golden Retrievers wrong. We thought they were happy-go-lucky. It turns out on the Golden Retriever end, they need vacations. As a letter carrier. Whoa, interesting. This person, and this is what I love about doing the lives, is I get to talk to people who follow me, which is great because a lot of the times, it is kind of a one-way interaction. And a lot of you have very interesting jobs. And this is the cool one. As a letter carrier, which I like that. I like that term. A letter carrier. That's cool. Is it just letters? Do you only that's a great, if you're still with me on this live, do you only carry letters as a letter carrier? Like if you see a package, if someone comes up to you with a big box, or you're like, nah. Nah, send that to the other guy. That's not my apartment, chief. It's not my department. I said apartment. It's not my department, chief. I'm a letters only kind of guy. All right. I only send stuff from grandma. I am specifically a birthday card style letter carrier. If that is the case, you really nailed it. Because as far as the parcel services go, you seem to be, not to use this again, at the top of the food chain. You know what I mean? But that's interesting. You get more. I mean, it's not obviously. I would say, unfortunately, pit bulls get a very bad reputation, and I think a great deal of that is not warranted. And I think a lot of pit bull owners, because of that, are a lot more protective because they understand the perception of their dogs. Whereas like a Labrador owner, they're just like, yeah, go jump on the guy. Who cares? Just go jump. No one will care. I wonder though. It's an interesting quandary. This is true. This is a true comment. Postman isn't very gender inclusive. I agree with you, but I wonder if there's another gender inclusive term. I mean, letter carrier is cool, but if we can brainstorm, what about a box is because I feel like there needs to be something for people who deliver like bigger stuff. Like a box tosser. What about that? That's gender inclusive, right? A letter thrower. A dog treat distributor. We had a in my neighborhood, our mail deliverer, he was this guy, and we had a dog, and our dog was a very ill-behaved dog. When I was a kid, we had a very ill-behaved dog. Our dog did one time $5,000 worth of damage to a neighbor's koi pond. And so obviously he was like rambunctious, and the mail guy would always give him a treat. And I was like, isn't that's reaching across the aisle. You know what I mean? That's loving thine enemy in a really powerful way. I really appreciate. A postal worker, of course. A postal worker. That's way easier than a box thrower. Right? A box tosser is maybe too honest, too real. Also, I'm going to go ahead and say a lot of postal workers are very careful with their deliveries. I appreciate postal workers getting your 48 million steps a week. You guys are nuts. I appreciate it. I get winded like leaving my house sometimes. Just the amount, I'm sure like your nerves kind of get like used to it, but parking that many times in a day. like finding parking and then getting out of your truck. I know that they get to take a couple liberties because of the official truck, but man, that is crazy. The amount of times they need to like park and then get back in their car and start driving. If I do that 4 times in a day, I need like a chamomile tea. I have weak nerves, I guess. I can't do it. I really can't do it. Oh, this is nice. I'm in the UK and currently ignoring your advice about not looking at my phone before I go to bed, but it's worth it. Hey, listen, you are great. Listen to me. Let me adjust this camera. You're wonderful. I appreciate your support, and I'm going to tell you right now, even though it cuts into my bottom line, even though it hurts to live, still, I implore you, shut the phone off and get to bed, okay? There will be other lives. There will be other live streams. I have shackled myself to the existence of being a content creator online, and it's very easy, it's very nice. But let me tell you something. That sleep is more important than this live, all right? And a lot of things are more important than this live. Looking at a nice bird, finding a cool rock on the ground. These are all more important than the live you are now watching. But I implore you, get to sleep. Read a couple pages of a book so your eyes can kind of adjust down, you know what I mean? So we can kind of get those endorphins going. But I implore you, get that sleep. All right? There will be other lives. You will live to fight another day. This is why I'm not successful. It is because I should be saying this, yes, stay in the live. Nope. There's one thing they can't take from me, and that is my outward support of sleep. Oh, this is a fun comment. This is a Grateful Dead t-shirt. This is a gift from a friend. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you all this. I'm going to be completely honest with you folks. I have not seen them live. I've listened to their music. I like their music. I have not seen them live. But they do a lot of shows near where I live. I live next to a big concert venue in Los Angeles that the Grateful Dead has performed at before. And I love it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Whenever they're performing. It's not that I go, it's that I get to see their fans, and boy, they look exactly like you think. There's something so nice. There's something so comforting when you see a fan base that looks how you picture them. Right? Like if you in your head right now, use the facility of imagination and picture what a Grateful Dead fan looks like, that's it. That's it. That's what it is. And it's exciting. I like it. It brings me comfort. It makes me feel as though I am connected to the greater world around me because my perception is matched by my outside world. We're ramping towards the end of the live, but I have some very important things to say before we do. I'm going to be live in Cincinnati, Dayton, Ohio, Kansas City, Springfield, Missouri. Tickets are in my link tree. You can find the link tree in my bio, or after this, I'll post it. Also, check out the podcast. And if you really like the podcast, if you like these lives, for $5 a month, you can join the Patreon, and that gives you access to a bunch of backlogged episodes, like a ton. I do an extra episode every week, and I've been doing the podcast for, many months now. So you get a huge backlog of episodes. You get some extra stuff. You get some of my writing. There's a lot of extra stuff on the Patreon for just $5 a month. And then there's greater tiers if you want to support more. But the $5 a month, that's the baseline tier, and that gives you everything that you would really want. So other than that, thank you all for watching. throw a like on this video if you've enjoyed it, because that helps a lot. And hopefully, I'll see you all soon. I'll see you when I come out live. And if not, I'll keep doing these lives. But hey, either way, you all have a great day.